The Night of the Hunter is one of those movies that critics love, but audiences don't. Whenever this happens, I like to figure out why. This most recently happened with Darren Aronofsky's Mother. When I saw it for myself, I could see why the audience had an aversion to its controversy. Some really dark things happen on screen, so dark that most people would prefer never to see it. The Night of the Hunter was in a similar situation. The audience in 1955 was not ready to see a father executed for stealing $10,000 for his 2 children, who then have to protect the money from an evil man who killed their mother and now has them on the run. But controversy alone does not merit Rotten Tomato freshness. So what does? In the case of Night at the Hunter, it is beloved for its beautiful cinematography that enhances its story. Looking at movies describes cinematography as the process of capturing moving images on film or digital storage devices, and that it is in fact an intricate language that can contribute to a movie's overall meaning, as much as the story, mise-en-scène, and acting do. Cinematography includes setting up the shot with wide shots, close-ups, depth, the angle, and the most striking in Night of the Hunter, the lighting. The previously mentioned Mother uses mainly natural-looking lighting, which makes it seem realistic even when crazy things start happening. The Night of the Hunter is just the opposite. As Robert Ebert puts it, it is an expressionistic oddity telling its chilling story through visual fantasy. The lighting looks very unnatural, but it creates tension and mystery, and brings the audience to a deeper understanding of the characters without having to explain anything. Take a look at the film's antagonist, Harry Powell. Throughout most of the film, he is lit only with the fill light off to the side, only lighting half of his face. This expresses the duality of his character. He poses as a preacher, but is really a serial killer. His right hand is tattooed with love, his left with hate. He pretends to be a father to the children, but only wishes to get his hands on that $10,000. After the children escape his grasp, they meet up with his opposite in the film, Miss Cooper. Most of her time on screen is spent in plenty of light. She is never hidden in shadows, except for one very specific scene. This tells the audience right away that she has nothing to hide. The different use of lighting for these 2 characters also gives insight into what they represent in this story. Harry Powell is representative of the Old Testament. Every sin must be punished. Miss Cooper represents the New Testament. Forgive as God forgives. They have a big showdown at the end of the film where both characters are seen as silhouettes. This is to show that Powell is devoted to finding that money, and Miss Cooper is just as strongly devoted to protecting the children. The Night of the Hunter's strong use of noir lighting has influenced so many films since, and it is extremely apparent in 1982's Blade Runner. It blends a sci-fi story with amazing visuals of noir filmmaking, giving it a unique style. A scene near the beginning shows a man interrogating a prisoner to determine if he is a replicant or not. The lighting of the scene automatically has the audience relate to the prisoner, drenched in light, and fear the interrogator, shrouded in darkness. It uses this lighting in the same way that The Night of the Hunter uses it. The low-key lighting setups create tension and make characters appear menacing. In fact, David Dreyer, who worked on the photographic effects of Blade Runner, has said that he wished the movie could have been in black and white because it seems to have even more depth and style in black and white. This only begins to scratch the surface of all the beautiful photography in The Night of the Hunter. Audiences might have been turned off by its controversy and oddness at the time, but since then, it has been gaining more and more attention for how effective its use of bold cinematography was and still is.